The Guru Maharaj ki. Thank you, dear devotees. So we are gathered here today to celebrate this most joyous. We're here to celebrate our good fortune. And we're seeing that on all your faces. Everyone is smiling, beaming. Why are we fortunate? Brahmanda Bhagyavan Jeev. Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Data Bij. That one fortunate soul who's gone up and down the entire creation, maybe will get, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, this Bhakti Lata, this Krishna conscious practice. And we are so fortunate that not only Guru Maharaj gave us Krishna, is giving us Prabhupada. So we got double whammy. We got Srila Prabhupada, we got Krishna, and we got Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj ki. Yeah. So thank you once again for joining on this special event. Just a couple of housekeeping items. So please be careful of those trophies back there. They could fall and very easily. So just be extra careful. Those screens back there, please do not touch those. Those are also kind of delicate. They fall over. We actually broke one early, so without doing much effort. Please be careful around here. Restrooms are downstairs. Down the hall, you'll see the signs in there. So please make note of that. If you have a cell phone, please turn off your ringer or just turn it off altogether. That'll be best. There's no signal here anyway, so it's this, So, and if you don't have a cell phone, well, we envy you very much. So very fortunate. So the program next is Guru Maharaj is going to speak on some of these new books. And then after that, there will be the Pushpanjali and Guru Puja and Arati. And then after that, we'll be able to browse the book table. Everyone is very eagerly wondering what's under those sheets there. Those are amazing things. So be prepared to be thrilled when those sheets come off and you can browse to your heart's content. And after that, there'll be prasadam at around 1 o'clock or so. So please turn off your cell phones, give your full attention, and listen carefully. It says, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Saraswati Ho. Even one moment of association of pure devotee, your full attention. Shri Guru Maharaj ki. Jai. No. If you put it on the ground, you won't see it. You want to put it in front of you? No, you can't. All over the world, in different sampradayas, gurus are celebrated at Guru Purnima, which is one celebration held for all the gurus in the same sampradaya. The Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is different. They celebrate Vyasa Puja on the birthday of a particular guru. Today we are celebrating my birthday, although it is a little early, so that people can come on a weekend and not miss any of their work
and also travel in better weather. But first of all, we have to ask the question whether any of Prabhupada's disciples have permission to write their own books as gurus. I wanted to write books, but I doubted whether it was possible to expand on what Prabhupada had already given in books like The Nectar of Devotion, etc. I offered the following exchange I had with Srila Prabhupada as an example of his endorsement. I was surprised that Srila Prabhupada wrote to an 8-year-old boy at the Dallas Gurukula, urging him to learn English. I wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada and inquired from him what would be the need of books written by his followers, since he had presented everything so completely himself. He replied to me in a letter of 1972 from Mayapur. You, this is Prabhupada, you asked one question about the nature of books I want you to write as my disciples. On this point, Krishna consciousness is not limited. Persons like all of the Goswamis wrote so many books. Vishwanath Chakravarti and all the acharyas wrote books, and still I am writing books. Similarly, all my disciples will write. She quiet. So any self-realized soul can write unlimited books without deviating from the original ideas. Usually on his birthday, the Guru speaks at length on his topics, including the books that in many books. But because of my illness, I can only speak a few words. Today, in recent years, I have developed the illness known as Parkinson's disease. My condition had worsened. I cannot In recent years, I have suffered chronic headaches, and most recently, I have been unable. Fortunately, I have been able to continue writing books. I am doing this with the assistance of devotees serving at Nagari Press. Today, my disciple and editor-in-chief of GN Press, Krishna Bhajana, will display the books and say a few words. Krishna Bhajana is also a senior member of the Bhaktivedanta Institute, which is ISKCON's academic wing. Last year, at our summer festival, we made a big mistake. We started serving out the prasadam while people were still looking at the books. This resulted in their being distracted from the books and kirtan and paying more attention to eating the prasadam and then leaving. So this year, we are not going to bring out the prasadam until we have given a full hour to display the new books and give you an opportunity to bring. These books are very important to me.
The first of the 4 new books that have been produced for this meeting is a new revised edition of Sanatorium. And the best way to explain the need for a new edition is to read the introduction. Satsvarupa is going to do that.
Okay. Following the publication of Sanatorium in 2005, responses were mixed. Many readers praised the book, but there were also made that would render it more Krishna conscious. In response to this constructive feedback, the author spent much time pondering on this matter and then tasked members of GM Press book production team to conduct a thorough editing. This produced revisions that is hoped will widen the appeal of the book to a broader audience. This revised new edition has been carefully edited to improve and provide a clearer focus on the core messages the book delivers, while keeping the essential plot intact and free from potential distractions. At the end of this process, the author concluded that our team of GM editors thoroughly improved it, showing its true message clearly: healing in community. We think the revised edition can be appreciated by a fair-minded audience and that it can benefit from it. End of quote. During the interview period between the 2 editions, pastoral counsellors have been using this book to good effect. For example, the Fiji context writes, quote, "The complexity of human nature is given full attention by the author as the narrative moves from crisis to redemption and from uncertainty to faith. It is in this sincere exploration of these existential dilemmas that Sanatorium itself provides invaluable resources for the care of others. In my own pastoral work as a Christian minister, I have had opportunity to share aspects of this remarkable novel with couples in very different settings. In the first instance, the relationship between Sandy and Raja provided me with a narrative that was of tremendous assistance when meeting with a young couple who suffered the unimaginable loss of an infant. Secondly, the story of Sandy and Raja provided ample themes to share with a couple who were preparing for marriage. These characters faced terrible hardship, and their understanding of an authentic marriage reveals that Sanatorium is much more than a novel. It is itself a work of pastoral care. Remarkably, the author who provides such a resource is writing from his own experience of receiving such care, end quote. Similarly, another pastoral counsellor, Dr. Harvey Stemple, who used readings in Sanatorium during a week-long seminar at Radhadesh, Belgium in 2006, focusing on care of devotees, explained, quote, "I had recently read Sanatorium and appreciated it as a book that showed that Vaishnavas live vulnerable human lives that benefit from nurturing and care, especially when there are health challenges or faith challenges, etc., and that the humanities that the humanity of one's life may be threatened by the expectations of one's faith community, at least institutionally speaking. Yadunanda Swami had visited Satsvarupa Maharaj while he was living in Philo, California, and had some nice talks with him there about this subject. So he invited me to the college to do a seminar on it. I also thought the college students and faculty, since I presented to both separately, might benefit by gaining empathy for the plight of the protagonist, Sandy, and how she handled her paralyzing injury. The beautiful blending of sincerity of heart and a tender relation of a deeply felt emotional life, especially around marriage and affectionate needs, I felt might serve these devotees well. I believe this happened, and that reading the book helped participants to accept themselves and others more fully. End quote. Undoubtedly, the common denominator in these different settings is that of healing and mutual care. In terms of its structure, sanatorium is shaped by themes that are visited and creatively revisited that one can appreciate in the manner of a multicolored pinwheel spinning in the breeze. What one encounters initially in the novel may recede and subsequently reappear with new colors as these themes are experienced by the various residents of the sanatorium. At the center of this dynamic movement is an emphasis upon healing, the deepest of which is received spiritually through the blossoming of Krishna consciousness that the sanatorium itself nurtures. The author utilizes both traditional prose and a prose poem setting to change the movement and even the momentum of the story. His irrepressible style accomplishes this, as does the literal formatting of the text upon the page. Further, this stylistic diversity allows for some beautiful confessional moments, such as this example of the author's inimitable prose poem expression. What is there to say? They say I am tortured and full of ambivalence, and many people aren't. Why don't you go deep and accept who you are? Don't you have deep emotional needs? Don't you accept yourself? And that's on page 48 of the edition. In this poignant moment, Satsvarupa Maharaj offers the readers a very intimate glimpse into his soul searching, which itself has led him to the sanatorium. Sanatorium is a novel about growth and renewal. But more than that, it is a novel that reveals the importance of community as a place in which healing will flourish. When people of faith gather with all of the brokenness that we each carry within us, renewal may wondrously occur. Further, Satsvarupa Maharaj expresses in this unique novel that each of us, as we journey together, may have a faithful confidence that healing is within reach by the grace of God, Krishna, who looks carefully upon his people and who is always ready to deliver one from all those realities which hold us in bondage. Undoubtedly, Srila Prabhupada decisively revealed this transcendental truth when he wrote to his disciple Sarvamangala, quote, "You should know it that our temples are not in this material world. The temple is Vaikuntha," end quote, and that was written November 6, 1974. Indeed, sanatorium may be read as an artistic elaboration of the instruction that this author's beloved spiritual master has imparted in the letter quoted above. What Satsvarupa Maharaj has received from his spiritual master
And then there are three more books that are newly presented for this meeting. These are continuations of Guru Maharaj's journals series that he started last year, and volume 1 of which was available at the summer meeting. So this is volume 2. It's called Prabhupada Revival. Excuse me. And this book contains, I just give you a list of things that are in the book. There are quotes from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, especially from his Sharanagati. There are devotees' memories of Prabhupada. There are random notes that Guru Maharaj wrote while listening to Srila Prabhupada's 1966 lectures. There is a morning stream of consciousness feature. There are afternoon writing sessions, free writes, prayers to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna, night notes, lists, and details of Guru Maharaj's hospitalization that took place in February of this year due to pneumonia. So I'm going to give you a few quotes from this volume. Narottam Das Thakur's words, advising us not to travel to places of pilgrimage, encouraged me. Physically, I cannot travel, nor do I have the inclination to go to many places of pilgrimage. Narottam advises that we can stay in one place and render service to Govinda and meditate upon him. In his purport, Prabhupada goes on to say that a pure devotee can do this. I am not a pure devotee, but I am satisfied to stay in one place, Viraha Bhavan, where I am 4 feet away from Radha Govinda and 6 feet away from Srila Prabhupada. My main service is worshipping with the pen. I think my spiritual master and Krishna are giving me protection and permission to stay here and render service by writing and hearing Prabhupada's books with a group of devotees every day. I bow down at their lotus feet and give thanks for little more longevity, to keep the hand moving and make praises of the Vaishnavas. Here's another quote. I am not a Christian, but I admire from a distance Augustine, who in his Confessions addresses thee with great devotion and deep self-scrutiny and begs for God's mercy. I can try more from my own lowly position to speak with the tongue of my pen to the Lord in the heart, Shamasundar, the Supersoul, and to my eternal spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Tell them of your longing to hear from them and to chant their glories. Admit your impurities. Tell of your fallen nature. Pray to follow your master's direction. Pray for the strength to spread the Lord's. Here's an example of a morning stream of consciousness. I am getting sleepy, but I'll rise to the occasion. What can you say when your heart is broken? I just wrote that sentence, but it doesn't apply to me. As I told the insurance man, I am happy and content. I'm at the end of my life writing this journal with random notes of Prabhupada Katha. The morning stream of consciousness is important to me because I get a chance to free write. I can tell a story about Lord Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya met a Brahmin who was reading aloud from the Bhagavad Gita in the temple and crying tears. But this Brahmin was illiterate and was mispronouncing words. People made fun of him and joked at him. But Lord Chaitanya approached him seriously and asked which part of the Gita he was reading. The Brahmin told the Lord that he was illiterate, but his guru ordered him to read the Gita every day. The Lord then asked him why he was crying. The Brahmin replied that whenever he would look at the cover of the book, he saw Krishna driving Arjuna's chariot. He thought how Krishna was so kind to his devotee, and he cried. You are the real reader of Bhagavad Gita. And he revealed to the Brahmin some of his. Here's another morning stream of consciousness. I had no faith. Srila Prabhupada's faith in Krishna made my faith. He planted the seed. Quote, faith is trust in something sublime. End quote. It is not faith, it is fact, I seem to remember. He had strong, simple arguments. He had unflinching faith. He was a saint, a guru. He smashed the non-believers. He came in the line of great acharyas. His own guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his guru's guru, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the six Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya. Gradually, he revealed Krishna consciousness, and gradually we soaked it in. We chanted Hare Krishna Kirtan with him, and we became his followers. We read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We repeated his words in our own speech and thinking. We became believers in him and in Krishna. He told us about Lord Chaitanya. Keep faith strong by chanting, preaching, associating with devotees. I pray to subdue all my doubts and fully accept the words of Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Change your subject, keep to faith. It is a most important quality, firm, unflinching faith, but not blind. Keep immersing yourself in topics of Krishna. Seek him in the company of the sense gratifiers, you won't find him there. Join the Gyanis and Yogis, he's not there. Now I am free writing. You seem to think you're all right with faith. There are some things in Bhagavatam that I can't understand. For example, Maharaj Prithu breaking up all the mountains with his bow and leveling the land for agriculture. There are many things like that. I just read them and accept them. Prabhupada said, what can you comprehend with your tiny brain? Accept all and don't think it has to compare with worldly reality. Here's another quote from the book, from volume 2. Right from where you're at, an imperfect being with trust in Prabhupada, an incorrigible writer with few deep realizations, an old man with a young man's enthusiasm. Right from your poverty to purify yourself and bear witness. What do you know? 4 prohibitions and 16 rounds, reading Srila Prabhupada's translations and purports to the most important books, association with devotees. What should you write? What is in the books and your own take on them? Hear and study the talks between the 4 Kumaras and Maharaj Prithu. Say what you think about it. Recall what they said. Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote briefly about his old age, his diseases, and the wonder that he was still writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. I love it when the authors admit their vulnerability. When the 4 Kumaras refused to get married and kept themselves 5 years old, their father, Brahmaji, became angry, and from his eyes, Lord Shiva was born. So, go on at what you're doing. Read the books of your godbrothers and godsisters. Write notes on Prabhupada. Read his books, and go on in writing touching paragraphs of the poor man. The poor man who reads the Bible. All right. Here's another quote from volume 2, which starts with a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verses 10 to 11. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy the shining lamp of knowledge, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge, the darkness born of ignorance. Krishna is in the devotee's heart, and he destroys the darkness of ignorance. I wish this to be true of me. When I quieten down, I see his presence in my heart, assuring me. He is also in my right-hand fingers moving the pen. Because I have consciousness, the symptom of the soul, I can live and breathe and form sentences. The sentences are a form of devotional service. Study the verses of Bhagavad Gita and be lifted by Prabhupada's emphasis on love of Krishna. When you truly feel that love coming from you to Krishna, he reciprocates. He shows us mercy, and with, quote, the shining lamp of knowledge, end quote, he destroys our darkness, our ignorance. How wonderful to hear the Lord's words spoken to his devotees. Take shelter of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Krishna is speaking to those and them, and we want to be included. The first step in devotional service is to hear, Shravanam, and that will give us direct connection to Krishna. Even Srila Prabhupada loved to read his books. They give direct darshan of Krishna. Next is volume 3, which is entitled Be Prepared. So this refers to being prepared not just for death, but also for Krishna. This is it here, with a nice picture of Radha Govinda on the cover. And this book contains letters to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna, quotes from Ujjvala Nilamani, quotes from Srila Prabhupada's books and teachings on death and dying, free writing and journaling, some night notes, and some lists. Satsvarupa is going to give us some quotes, and also Guru Maharaj will give some quotes as well from this book.
Okay, quotes from volume 3. Jeev Jago. Wake up, sleeping souls. You have taken this human form of birth. It is meant for cultivating self-realization, learning the goal of life. We are meant to be loving servants of Krishna. We are meant to spread the glories of the Lord's name, fame, and qualities. I try in fat journals to catch the flickering attention of the distracted humanity.
Here's a letter I wrote to Prabhupada. I have a practice of writing letters to Prabhupada and Krishna, even many years after their disappearance from the earth. Here's one to Prabhupada. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to you. It has been 46 years since you have stopped writing letters to us. Some keep the letters in their diaries. Of course, you are available to us in your eternal Vani, which is available to us in your books, lectures, memories of your disciples, etc. I am Satsvarupa Das, first initiated by you in 1966 at 26 Second Avenue. In 1972, you awarded me sannyas. I have preached Krishna consciousness on your behalf for many years. Now I am 83 years old and limited by jara, old age, and vyadi, disease. I still serve you by writing, reading your books, and associating with your devotees.
Next is Jara. Old age is the preface to death. Often the old people are shut off from family and society, dying ignored in nursing homes. But they can be respected elders of the tribe, telling stories, histories, and giving wisdom to the not so old. When they are neglected, they live in darkness and alienation. In their waning powers, they are seen as non-productive and are excluded from deep human contact. I am not so old or feeble, and I continue to write to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna for my self-purification and to that individual who is my reader.
My turn. Srila Prabhupada said that everyone is afraid of death. But the few devotees are not afraid. They know that after death, when they leave their bodies, they're going back to home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada has convinced me by his purports in the Ajamil section of the 6th canto that I am not going to the court of Yamaraj for punishment. He wrote that Yamaraj told the Yamadutas not to approach the devotees, so I don't think I'm going to a hellish planet.
I have been looking at books on dying and death. The dying who have trust in God are encouraging. Their suffering is reality. When they are dead, they are finished, and their dear ones mourn for them. The hospice people are kind and compassionate, but there's not much in these books that teaches of the soul and the afterlife. Everything I need is in the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Krishna teaches Arjuna that the soul is eternal and can never be slain. One should not grieve for the dying or the death of the body. In the Vedic literature, Yamaraj tests King Yudhisthira with a number of questions. He asks him, "What is the most wonderful thing in life?" Yudhisthira answers that although one sees that everyone is dying one after another, one thinks that he himself will never die. How blind we are to think that death won't take us. That is the most amazing thing in the world. And here's another quote. You can write of your longings as Narottam Das Thakur did. He yearned to directly serve Radha and Krishna and the land of Vrindavan. I yearn to make deep, loving, unpretentious sentences. I want to make intercessionary prayers to Krishna, asking him to raise the fallen souls to practices of blissful devotional service. I long to become a pure devotee and emanate Krishna to everyone I meet and attract them to Krishna consciousness. I too yearn to have direct connection with Radha Krishna, serving as a servant of the servant, 100 times removed. I long to give up mental complaining of my bodily ills and instead think of the millions of persons who are in worse conditions and pray that they attain mental peace. Peace from the material miseries. Put us on the right track and give us fresh desires.
Thank you. Now, there's one more book, and it's volume 4 in the journal series. And this book is entitled Increasing the Presence of Prabhupada. This is it here. So in this book, we have letters to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, free writing and journaling. We have some lists. We have Remembering Srila Prabhupada and other selections about Srila Prabhupada, including some interviews, some of Srila Prabhupada's stories, Prabhupada and Krishna Katha. And this book includes the build-up to the July meeting earlier this year. And it documents and ends with Guru Maharaj's systemic collapse that began around the summer meeting and the subsequent suspension of his writing activity. This is where volume 5 will pick up months later, and that will reveal the extent to which Guru Maharaj suffered loss of previous functioning due to these medical factors. This is why volume 5 is called Renewal, and we expect it to take much of 2024 to complete. Guru Maharaj no longer gives himself deadlines or pressure to write, and is taking a new approach that puts his health and well-being, his japa and remembering Srila Prabhupada and Krishna first. So stay tuned. In the meantime, we're going to give you a few quotes from volume 4. Starting with Guru Maharaj is going to give us one.
Okay. I mentioned that I'd like to write letters to Prabhupada and Krishna. Here's one. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to you. It is crucial that I write letters to you. For me, it keeps our bond tight. I am confident that you accept my words. Every morning when Baladev takes off your nightcap, I call out, Prabhupada. I watch him give you the bead bag, Pavitra, and light daytime chatter. Then I turn to my service of writing. Please hear from me. You are my eternal Father. You told me in a letter that you said my material father was ephemeral. In this lifetime, when I first met you, I found some obstacles within myself towards loving you. You said, if you love me, then I will love you. That statement opened my heart. I was already serving you by typing your manuscripts and donating from my welfare job. But that morning, when I turned in the latest manuscripts, you first said, this service is not mechanical. And then you said, if you love me. That was 57 years ago.
Here's another quote from Volume 4. Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, was beset throughout his ISKCON mission with many illnesses. He traveled around the world 13 times in jet planes, but didn't seem to get jet lagged or tired of traveling. He said he traveled so much, quote, to keep my disciples alive, end quote. He slept only a few hours at night and then got up at 1 a.m. and worked on his translations and purports. He met with many guests, managed the movement, oftentimes contending with disciples who were not always obedient and who were almost always quarreling with one another. He gave interviews all day. He always lectured to the devotees or to big audiences in public halls. As for his lectures to the devotees who gathered in big numbers in the temples, he sometimes lectured twice a day. In his whole life, throughout his boyhood and youth, he always lived a pure, clean life and was never contaminated by simple activities or debilitating habits. But I am not Srila Prabhupada and cannot imitate him. Before I met his divine grace at age 25, I was living a reckless life. He picked me up and saved me. Prabhupada was transcendental and specifically empowered to preach all over the world, following his guru's orders with full faith.
And letter by me to dear Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Letters to you posted in the journal are a good way for me to associate with you and serve you. I am thinking of different ways I can bring about your appearance. I also use notes taken from Devi Shakti's lectures about you. Her talks, so deep in knowledge about you, are a great inspiration. Many of your disciples have passed away. Considering my advanced age and my physical maladies, I should think soberly that I may not have long to go. I am absorbed in writing a series of journals, and I want to increase your appearance in them. That will make them more spiritual. I want to be more devoted to you, and for me, that may be best done by writing. Your humble servant of the servants, Satsvarupa Goswami. And that's the end of the excerpts from letters.
That's the end of our quotes from Guru Maharaj's new books. Thank you very much.
Guru Maharaj ki. So you got a little of the glimpse of the depth, the brilliance, the sweetness, the humility. you know, when you read these books, it may look like anybody could write this book, but when you actually read them, you realize only Guru Maharaj could have written this. You know? It's like that. It's deceivingly simple, but it touches the depths of our heart. So please take advantage today of the book session later on. So we will be having next the ceremony of. So today we will not be doing. If you have written homages, you can submit them to Baladev Prabhu, and they'll be shared with Guru Maharaj later on. But we'll not be doing like the reading of them. You know. So what we're going to do now is that there is going to be the Guru Puja, Pushpanjali, and Aarti happening. So we have the flowers. So how this works? Okay, we'll all get some petals, flower petals, and keep them in your hand for 3 offerings. So 1/3 at a time when it's time for Pushpanjali. Just it's not very difficult. Just follow what everybody is doing in front of you. It's actually pretty easy. So this tradition of offering Pushpanjali goes back millennia, and it is our way of showing our appreciation and love for Guru Maharaj, all that he's done for us. And in this way, we can express our heart in the form of these petals. And so let us meditate in that angle, in that way, because we don't get to see Guru Maharaj every single day like this. You know, it's very fortunate experience that we get to do this today. And in the company of spiritual family and friends, there's no sweeter gesture. So kindly participate with that proper mood and mindset. So what this Pushpanjali, what does Pushpanjali mean? Yeah, we'll be passing those. So Pushpa means flowers, and Anjali means you offer from the palm of your hand, like this. Okay, so you can offer like that. Okay? Try not to whack somebody with it. And just offer gently, Pushpanjali. Okay. Then there will be the Arati ceremony, which Shankar Prabhu will be offering, and there'll be kirtan during the Arati. There'll be more kirtan later on as well, and then there'll be the book viewing session. Okay, so please don't rush the book viewing. Take your time and see if you can find something that appeals to you, and you can purchase those books. Shri Guru Maharaj ki. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to put this so that people don't slip and fall.
Hare Krishna. So everybody please come together, stand up. It would be nice to have all the Vaishnavis on one side and all the Prabhus, all the Vaishnava on the other side. That would be nice. If you can have all the Vaishnavis on one side and all the Vaishnavas on other side, that would be nice. Huh? All the Vaishnavis on my left hand side, all the Prabhus, all the Vaishnavas on the right hand side, my right hand side, please. We are in the one family. So we can move the chairs if we have to move the chairs. Okay. So you have the flower petals, and you're gonna chant the Sri Guru Pranam mantras as per the Vaishnava songbook, and then I will chant and you repeat. Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhartam Sya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Satsvarupa Goswami Namine Satsvarupa Vidam Vande Sritam Sadhushanam Bhakti Grantha Naipunyam Bhakti Vedanta Sikshitam Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Harshita Deshutarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Sri Varshavani Devi Daitaya Tripade Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Udayane Prabhave Namaha Vigrahaya Namostute Siddhanta Dvanta Dharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagmurte Vipralambar Sambode Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Bharayate Gauravir Bhava Bhume Stam Nidesta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Gauratase Namaha Panchatattvaakam Krishnam Krishna Rupa Bhakta Rupa Swarupavam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Jayatam Surato Prango Mama Vanda Targati Mat Sarva Sapadam Bojo Radha Madan Mohanam Divya Vrindaranya Kalpa Drumada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastato Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Sabi Sevyamano Samsmarami Sriman Rasara Sarambi Vamsi Bhattat Stitaha Karshana Venu Senar Gopi Gopinatha Sriyastuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So now we're going to sing 3 times the Guru Maharaj's Pranam mantra, and then after 1 mantra we offer Pushpanjali, then we chant again, offer Pushpanjali, then we all offer 3 times flowers. Okay.
Just stand one time and love it.
Okay. Just 1 time. I see. Namam Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Satsvarupa Goswami Namine Satsvarupa Vidam Vande Nitam Sadhu Bhushanam Bhakti Grantha Naipunyam Bhakti Vedanta Sikshitam offering Pushpanjali Sadhguru Maharaj ki. So offer obeisance and then we again. Today Pushpanjali offering to Sadhguru Maharaj. Today Pushpanjali. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Today Pushpanjali offering to Guru Maharaj. Pushpanjali.
Guru Maharaj ki Jai.
Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj.
Jaya Guru Maharaj.
Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj.
Jaya Guru Maharaj. Jaya Guru Maharaj. Jaya Guru Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj. Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Maharaj, Jaya Guru Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma.
Kevala Bhakti Sama.
Bando Sabatam Bando Sabatam Jaharam Prasade Bhaye Javato Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chikate Goviya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chikate Goviya Alna Kori Hamani Alna Kori Hamani Go